3 of the Great American Cookbook Competition. These 3 lovely ladies, you all look beautiful today. Our 3 finalists are back. These 3 lovely ladies have made it this far. We've got Lauren, Fanny, and Mary on the end here. Poor Lori here. She's gonna have to make a very tough decision because by the end of today, only 2 will be left competing for their own cookbook contract with my imprint at Atria Publishing Group. So one of these guys is gonna be touring with me one day very soon.
Wow.
So today's challenge is all about salesmanship, so who better to have with us than Lori? To sell a lot of books, of course, you must be able to sell yourself. Today, each of our finalists will have just 3 minutes, which is actually quite a long time in television. They're each going to perform an on-camera cooking demonstration for all of us. During that demonstration, they must clearly pitch their dish and their cookbook concept to Lori. This woman clearly knows a pitch. Lori, why don't you tell our contestants what you are going to be looking for today specifically?
Well, you know, when I look at a pitch, it's, are you convincing me about what you're pitching? So is it a great recipe? Is this going to be something that people are going to love? I also look for you. Are you somebody that people are going to listen to? Are they going to feel that you are an authority on cooking? And just originality, the whole package, really important.
3 minutes is on the clock. Begin.
My name is Lauren Kadlowik, and the title of my Hopeful Cookbook is Scrumptious, Simple, and Secretly Healthy. Everybody wants to make affordable, healthy meals in their home to please anyone. And my cookbook is jam-packed full of meals like pizza, wings, desserts, and today I'm gonna show you one of those dishes, one of my family favorites, a game day mainstay in my house, buffalo chicken dip with whole wheat pita chips. It starts out with some vegetables, and it's a great way to get vegetables into a dish, but they're secretly in there because they're going to cook down and give some flavor to our dish. So I have some celery, onions, and garlic, sauteing in 1 tablespoon of olive oil, which is a heart-healthy fat. Gonna cook that down until the vegetables get nice and soft, until they look like this. Then we're gonna add boneless, skinless chicken breast, which is a good lean protein. Very affordable at the grocery store. If you can't, if you don't have this on hand and you have some extra cooked chicken, you could save money by using leftovers, which is a feature of my book. Leftovers, I have different variations in my book for you to use. If you don't have one ingredient, you have another, there's options for you to go for. So you're gonna saute this chicken
You're at 1:30
until it gets nice and brown, and it's gonna look like this, nice and golden brown. And I've melted 1 tablespoon of butter in there already. And the difference between the traditional buffalo chicken dip and my made-over buffalo chicken dip is that I'm making a roux and building my sauce with chicken stock and hot sauce. So this is gonna kind of add a lot of thickness without the usual cream cheese and ranch dressing. So I'm gonna add 1/2 cup of hot sauce, 1/2 cup of chicken stock, and that's gonna come together and simmer and make a nice, thick, buffalo-y, spicy sauce. You can tone down the spice if you want to. And my secret ingredient is cottage cheese. Now, you shouldn't tell people that there's cottage cheese in there until after you serve it and after they fall in love with it. Because,
45 seconds.
And we're gonna still have the traditional cream cheese in there. The usual dish calls for 2 blocks of cream cheese and a lot of ranch dressing. I'm still keeping those flavors with the 1/2 cup of ranch dressing, or I'm sorry, 1/2 cup of cream cheese to keep those flavors going in the dish and make it really yummy and delicious. Here's what it looks like when it's finished. Look how good that looks. I served this on Easter, and it was gone within 30 minutes. So it's always good to make an extra helping of it. You can save it for another day. My cookbook is jam-packed full of affordable, healthy meals. Just to tell you, this is $10.75 for the whole dish and 145 calories per serving. Serve it with veggies, serve it with homemade whole wheat pita chips.
Time. Really well done. Well done. That is very hard. Excellent work.
Yeah,
you now have
great
2
job.
minutes to spend with Lori. Lori's going to try your dish and ask you whatever she wants to know about it.
Thank you. This looks amazing.
Thank you.
And I'm going right in for the main event here. So,
Can you ask Kitchen to turn off those burners, please?
that is so good. This is delicious. I
you.
like the kick to it. It's creamy, but it doesn't feel heavy. I love that you're using white meat of chicken. This is fantastic, and I would make this.
Thank you.
I'm also a buffalo lover, so
That's
that
awesome.
nice little kick is great. Yeah. I have a few questions for you. One, did you use light cream cheese?
I used a regular full-fat cream cheese because you want some of that creaminess to tone down the dish. I do use light cream cheese in some of my dishes, but for this one, because we're using a small amount, I want to use the original cream cheese. The cottage cheese kind of offsets a lot of the fat from the original recipe, so I do like to kind of stay with regular, like the original versions of ingredients, but just use less of them.
Gotcha. Now, do you put the calorie count per serving in your book?
Yes, I have the calorie count per serving, and I also have a cost for a total meal for every single one of my recipes. So all of my recipes have a lot of research done into them, a lot of checking prices at the grocery store, and I've checked a lot of different grocery stores to get my prices, and a lot of different websites to get my calorie counts and nutritional information to make sure that it's accurate nationwide.
So you put calorie count, do you put fat and sodium and all
I
those
put
other...
what would be found on a regular traditional nutrition label. So total fat, saturated fat, because that's your bad fat. You want to try to avoid that. Fiber, protein, carbohydrates, sodium, cholesterol. All things that you would be, wondering about in nutrition labels. So people can tailor it to their own needs.
So does the book have different categories from appetizers to main dishes, and how did you...
Oh, you're tuning into that. Well done and well spoken. Being grilled as well. You ready? Set. Cook it up.
Well, hello, everyone, and my lovely judges. My name is Fanny, and welcome to Taste Like Childhood. I'm going to basically put my childhood right there on a plate for you guys. So my concept, Taste Like Childhood, or TLC as I like to call it, it's all about that. It's all about putting the TLC into food. I take my most favorite, wonderful childhood moments and memories with food that have absolutely touched me. I draw the inspiration out of those. I find really creative, interesting ways to put them in the kitchen somewhere new, and then I put them on a plate everyone eats it and enjoys. So right now I'm going to tell you a little story about me, a little story about crab cakes. I'm going to try and make some. We're going to put those things together and see what happens. Let's get started. So first thing I'm going to do to make these crab cakes, these are my dilled Meyer lemon crab cake sliders with a roasted tomato aioli. So starting right off here, we have some chopped leeks and celery. We're going to saute those up just till they're translucent, a couple of minutes, salt and pepper everything. Always got to season every layer. So we're going to saute those. Once those are nice and cooled right here, I'm going to go ahead and mix them in with my crab meat. So this crab meat, it's jumbo lump, it's juicy, it's delicious. It's going to make for some really plump little perfect crab cake. So a lot of other things that go in here. So let me just kind of quickly tell you about these crab cakes. So I grew up making these crab cakes with my dad, side by side in the kitchen, and it was like he was teaching me the lessons of life through crab cakes. When I was a little kid making these, it was like, Fanny, your job is the dill. You're gonna pluck it, that's all you do, don't touch anything sharp. Eventually then I could touch a knife, and he was like, all right, your job is to give the dill a haircut. Now we put the dill in, this is what we do. So he taught me all of these different steps along the way, and so that's kind of what I'm sharing with you guys today. So of course, fresh dill.
A little under 130, sweetie.
All right, we got Meyer lemon juice and zest, really fresh and tart, that goes in. Breadcrumbs also goes in, and mayo. Both of those are gonna just really kind of combine everything and keep it really, nice and tight together. Gotta have Old Bay with crab, come on. So we got those two together, mix it up. Hands are my best tools. So what we're gonna do is we are gonna form these into little beautiful crab cakes. Of course, salt and pepper in there as well. We are going to just use additional breadcrumbs on the outside just so those get nice and toasty. Into the pan, one will go. It'll toast up, just get golden on either side. And then they are gonna sit right here, lovely and beautiful in the oven, nice and crisp. And so to build these sliders,
45 seconds.
So what I'm gonna do right now, we have little Hawaiian buns. Really quickly about my sister. My sister lives in Hawaii, aloha to you, Sarah. She would eat the little bits of crab that would fall as my dad and I were making these in the kitchen. So the Hawaiian buns, those are a shout out to her. So this is my beautiful roasted tomato aioli. It's gonna go right there on the bottom. We used to have cocktail sauce with these, but I happen to love punching up the flavor nowadays. So I did a roasted tomato aioli. So we got the crab cakes right there on the bottom. We always had nice, fresh, beautiful arugula salads with everything. So that arugula, that one's for my mom. Thanks, Mom, for making those salads. We have our top buns right on there. And that's what makes the sliders. Cheers to childhood, everybody.
I cannot believe how much information she put in 3 minutes.
Yeah, we're so fast. And
Fanny,
smooth.
come on over, bring your dish. Fanny, I cannot believe how much history you put into 3
Me too, girl.
minutes.
Me too. And these happen to be
Action-packed.
upside down sliders.
Yay!
That's right. But still taste absolutely just as wonderful. So
Beautiful.
hope you guys enjoy those.
You have now 2 minutes with Lori, and she's going to ask you a few questions
All right,
and
Lori.
taste your food.
Okay, well, I'm going to go right into the crab cake.
That's the way to do
right
it.
in there, because that looks wonderful.
Awesome.
Turn the extra pans off, please.
Delicious.
Thank you.
Really, really good.
Thank you. My dad would be proud.
Okay, so you were just smooth and had everything going on, got it all out in time, but I didn't quite catch the concept of your book, really.
Okay.
I heard you say it's about childhood, tastes like childhood, TLC, but I don't understand what that means.
Okay.
So can you tell me what the book's going to be about? Like, give me an
Absolutely.
idea.
Absolutely. So the idea of this book is I feel like my life is a recipe. And it's made up of all of these wonderful food stories. So memories that I have with my family, a lot of them involve cooking with my dad. A lot of them involve being with my grandparents and going to these wonderful restaurants every year, you know, when we'd go visit them in New Jersey. So it's this amazing idea that everyone has these really, all of you, everybody, even if you're not a foodie, you have nourishing, rich food memories of cooking and being in the kitchen and these wonderful, you know, memories. And what I like to do is I like to pick a specific memory, I take it, I draw out of it, and I think, what are the components? What did it smell like, taste like, feel like? What do I remember about it? And how can I put that on a dish today with the way that I like to cook now? So it's basically taking a nostalgic memory with food, twisting and reinventing that, and putting it on the plate today in a new way.
Trying to evoke a feeling in the cookbook.
Absolutely.
Where they look at the recipe and you want them to bring home that feeling to their own family too.
Exactly, and what I wanted to draw out in other people is that idea exactly. It's equally about the food as it is about the stories. And I every time that I hear a chef on TV talk about, you know, well, when I, you know, was little, I fell asleep with, you know, corn on the cob, and so I'm making cream corn today. So you have these memories that are associated with feelings and also with food.
Gotcha.
Time's up. You're well set. 3 minutes on the clock. Ready, set, here's Mary.
Hello. I have a girlfriend who is scared of cooking. And so, I mean, she really will not walk in the kitchen. She really does not like to cook. I'm sure all of us have friends like that. So she says to me, Mary Graham, well, she really calls me Mary, but you know, you need to know that I'm Mary Graham. Mary like Merry Christmas, Graham like the graham cracker, I'm a Mary Graham.
Aww.
So anyway, she said, will you teach me how to cook? And I said, sure. You know, if I teach you my 5 signature sauces, because I am an award-winning cook, I can then help you put those sauces into dishes, and we will be able to have 50 dishes, new dishes that you've never even made before, mainly because she's never cooked before, and it will set you free, basically. And she goes, oh my goodness, I can do 5 sauces. She was really excited. And when you get someone who's a little bit of cooking into it, it's great. So 5 sauces, 50 recipes. This is my first sauce. It is fabulous. It's salsa verde. Watch how easy this is. Cilantro, poblano, garlic, green onion, and I give you tips. Mary tips on every single recipe in the book, which will help you understand if there's something that you might not have locally, because my book is all about working with local ingredients. You blend this up, and you turn it off, and you have a beautiful salsa, and it takes 1 minute, 2 minutes, that's it. So now with our salsa, we all need quick 20-minute sides, right? 25-minute sides. So what we take is some of our salsa, we take quinoa, we put it in, we quickly put in our salsa, our red beans, and our tomatoes, and we swap out for this beautiful dish of quinoa. It takes, like I said, 20 minutes. It's very, very easy. Then what we go ahead and do is to our salsa, our Mexican quinoa, I like to call it confetti because of the red, we toss in some cilantro and some green onion. Now, the great thing about my book is that you have 5 different 5 different sauces from all over the world. I have a roasted red pepper sauce from Italy, from Asia, citrus hoisin sauce, and then back to America with a white wine sauce. Each one has multiple recipes in it and tips, and I give you my merry moments of the $100,000 I've won over the last 4 years in competition. So I hope that you take a world tour and bring along a girlfriend and try out my 5 different recipes.
Yay, Mary! Mary, bring your quinoa over. Now, Mary, everybody, and Lori, she was a real surprise even to us because we had a different contestant that got sick and was unable to join us. Mary found out like moments before we flew her here. What? Beautiful, Mary, very colorful.
Put this on top.
Okay.
A little extra salsa on top. Delicious.
Oh, gosh.
Okay.
So, Mary, now Lori's going to get 2 minutes to speak with you about questions she has about
Okay,
your concepts
great.
or your food.
Perfect.
Okay, well, it was very good. I
Thank
purposely tried to just get just the sauce because
Yes.
the sauce is the secret sauce,
It
right?
is
to
the
book.
secret sauce.
Okay, so the book is 5 sauces, 50 recipes.
Right.
So for each recipe, does this cut down to like appetizers, entrees?
Yes.
Do you have that? Do you have desserts in
Yes.
the book? Or
Yes. The 5th
That are made
sauce
with
that
sauces?
I didn't get to mention was the caramel sauce. I mentioned the 4 savories. Of course, you always have to include a dessert sauce in a book like that. So you do have appetizers, side dishes, and entrees.
So
and
now
desserts.
you said you created this because you're making this cookbook for people who don't know how to cook at all. They're afraid to be in the kitchen. And your sauces, by just making a sauce, you think that they're going to be able to whip up something that looks
Yes.
masterful, but all they really had to do was do the sauce. So are the other recipes in it very basic, like just plain chicken breast and then the sauce goes on?
The beautiful thing is that the sauce will then elevate a dish. You add this salsa verde to my goat cheese and a few other ingredients. You put it on a pork torta, a very easy pork tenderloin to cook, and it becomes, for me, it became a winning dish, actually, and yet anyone can make it.
So to the point about you won $100,000, you said, in competitions.
Right.
So in this book, are you sharing how to win competitions?
Not how to win, but I tell you about all the great moments. And of course, I'd love to encourage anyone to enter a recipe contest. It's fabulous. I have Mary moments, I have Mary tips, and I have Mary recipes. So it's not only 50 recipes, it's taking this quinoa the next day, how to add salad ingredients for a nice quinoa cold salad.
Is there anything about your contest winning that tells them how to do what you did?
Well, I think you'll get the basic idea. Once they learn these sauces, they'll go, oh, wow, I can creatively now put this into a pasta.
An inspiration.
Yeah. So to inspire people.
Great job, Mary.
Yeah, great job.
So, you know, you're a first-time guest, too. We should ask a few questions about you.
Okay.
You know, is it impossible? We were chatting backstage today, and I thought the most fun question I could think to ask is, you know, when I'm in the grocery store, sometimes people ask me questions about recipes, and sometimes I'll end up taking them off and grocery shopping with them. Since the success and the popularity of this show, does that happen to you? Do you get pitches in weird places?
All the time. I had a woman once, she must have been following me. It was in the airport, must have recognized me, went into the bathroom. You know, I've closed the door, I'm in the stall, and I hear this little voice.
In the stall!
I hear a little voice next to me. I know you're busy. I know you're busy, but I just had to catch you, and I'm afraid you're going to leave before I get out. And so she pitched her idea between the stalls.
Between the stalls!
Between the stalls.
You have got to write a book and call one of the chapters Between the Stalls. We're talking about books and books and books. We got to talk about your own book, Invent It, Sell It, Bank It. Tell everybody how to get the big $1 million idea.
Well, yes, it's how to turn your $1 million idea into a reality. What I do is I share my 17 years of experience. I started from scratch. I came up with just one idea, and it's like how to do what I did. And then it's anecdotes and stories behind the scenes of Shark Tank. My foibles, believe me, not everything was easy along the way. So there's like my ups, my downs, but it's the journey, and I think everybody would really enjoy it.
Well, we know about 120 people that are going to enjoy it because Lori brought a copy for everybody in the audience of Invent It, Sell It, and Bank It. for you guys watching at home, you can head to our website for a chance to win one. We're going to let Lori finish judging, fill out all of her paperwork, and take a look at what choice she wants to make. It's a big decision. Grab a snack, and we'll be right back. It's a very tough competition. These ladies have, just as a reminder, already won a culinary trip to Cancun. That's thanks to our friends at Liberty Travel. Tons of pots and pans and bakeware. But to just remind everybody what's at stake, it's a book contract with my imprint at Atria Publishing Group and an entire GE kitchen suite, including French door ice and water refrigerator, double oven range, and a dishwasher with hidden controls, and an appearance on our show to promote their cookbook at launch time, and a big feature in our Everyday magazine. You know, on and on and on. For me, the big win was going to Cancun. But everyone that made it to our top 5, you can also look for them on our website in the coming months. They're all going to be starring in their own webisodes. Unfortunately, or fortunately, however you look at it, I am not the boss here. You are. You're the judge. And I know this is a tough one for you. So thank you for all the thought and consideration you're giving our ladies today. Do you want to just maybe go down the line and give them each a point or a tip about the presentation?
Well, I'll start with you.
Lauren.
Lauren, I thought you did a fantastic job. You went through everything. You were confident. You were smiling. I thought that the dish I really liked. I happen to be a buffalo chicken fan, so you know that was very good. So that's my props for you.
Fanny. Fanny's next.
Okay, Fanny. Same thing. I think that you demonstrated a confidence. You were so smooth. You went through everything fast. You made it interesting. You evoked the story feeling for me. I liked your crab cake. I think that you could really handle yourself well on TV or in a webisode.
Yeah.
And so I liked what you did as well.
Overall,
for all those reasons.
Knocking it out of the ballpark. And the lovely Mary.
Mary, I liked the originality of your concept. I was impressed that you had come up with something that was to help other people, help your friend, and help other people to be able to cook, because a lot of people are afraid to cook. And so I thought that was very creative. And I thought you did a great job of executing it in a pinch. And so I thought that you did a very good job.
So, unfortunately, this is, you know, a competition, and somebody's chapter has to come to a close for us in the cookbook competition. So, who are we going to have to part with today?
Well, loved you, Mary. The dish was great, but we're gonna have to part with you today.
Oh, Mary.
That's
But we love having you. You're so great, Mary. I think you're a rock star.
I actually agree with you.
Lord. No. And this is the sweetest thing ever. They just hugged it out. And you know what Mary said to her? I have to agree with you. She was so nervous. You did great. Your food was wonderful. We are such fans of yours. I'm sure we're going to see your cookbook in print soon. Thanks so much to Lori. Lori Greiner is the best. Thank you so much for being here. Don't forget to tune in to the big season finale. She says it's even a tearjerker. Shark Tank is this Friday, 9 p.m. on ABC, of course. Congratulations to all 3 of our finalists today on a great job. We'll see you when we see everybody. Bye-bye.